Okay, so what I did is I traced the spinner tile. So for those of you who would like to create a tile, similar, not exactly, similar to the spinner tile to do this recording, so I took this is 9.5 inch squares. So I traced this, or you could just draw 9.5 inch square with your pencil. And then I took a quarter and I eyeballed the middle and I traced a quarter. If you have a votive candle, you could use that. This is about a 1.5 inch votive candle, or a quarter to keep it simple. And then once you've traced the quarter, I then ordered the quarter. You can see it's not exact. And then I created this, looks like this boat steering wheel. What do they call those? I don't even know. So I basically just put a line north and south, east and west first, and then eyeball the middle of each section and put a little line in there, just to kind of make it even. And I like to do this kind of freehand, not to try to use the ruler too much, but you're welcome to do that, of course. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to measure now, and I'm going to measure 3/4 of an inch from each of these lines. Okay, so what is that? Right about here. And I'm going to make each line the same length. That's more of a 1/2 inch, isn't it? Let me see. That is, I'm not used to using a ruler. That looks more of a 1/2 inch. I want it 3/4, so I'm going to go up a little bit more. Sorry. Well, I like Zentangle because you don't have to measure, nothing has to be exact. And I'm not very good at measuring, but we're doing, once in a while I do for things like this. Okay, so pretty close to around the same size. And now what we're going to do is we're going to connect each line, and I'm just going to draw a line, and it could be straight from each edge. See, now you can always see this is the different, size. I don't know if it's, I guess. See, that's off-center because it looks like I didn't go down, and this is why we do it in pencil, right? So I'm just going to kind of go down here a little bit. Do I have an eraser? I don't have too many erasers, so, oh, I do. Eraser. I think that's a little, but see, that doesn't look like the same either. Well, it's gonna, like I said, it's not gonna be exact. Some of you are probably better measuring than I am. And so we're gonna see what happens. Okay, so now we're gonna extend these lines out a half an inch. Is that what I wanted? I guess so. Okay, 1/2 inch. So we're extending the lines out. I didn't want a 1/2 inch. Wait a minute. I'm looking at I want to do 1 inch. I'm going to do 1 inch out. So just lining up those lines, 1 inch. Okay. And now we're gonna do the same thing, just connect from the edges. They're definitely not all the same, but that's okay. It's not gonna matter much for this particular design. All right, so now we have that one, that one, that one. Now we're gonna measure 1/2 inch. So I'm extending out each line 1/2 inch. And then same thing, going to connect these, each section. Using pencil. Okay, now what's next? Now I'm gonna go out another inch. And 1/4, right? So now I'm gonna go out 1.25 inches. And this is not my forte, but hopefully it will still work. All right, so now same thing, let's connect each section. Sorry. No perfection in Zentangle. So one of the things we're doing differently here is going to have less sections than the actual spinner tile. The spinner tile has either 12 or 24 sections, like these are divided in half, so there's 24 sections here, and here's, I believe there's 12. But you can see by this design, it doesn't matter. We're not using all the sections, and I'm gonna show you that in a moment. So this is gonna be just fine for this particular design. Now, what we want to do is for these the last ring, the last layer, we want to cut each one in half. Well, actually, you don't even need the ruler for that. So I'm just going to eyeball it right down the middle. Now, yeah, right down the middle is fine, I guess. Right down the middle. All right, there we go. And there's your template. That's all you need. That's it. Now, the only other thing I'm going to do, though, is your Z in the middle. So you can just put your Z in the middle any way you want. And then aura it any way you want. And you could tell by that's kind of, that doesn't really look like a Z. But you know, I was trying to get the Z in. So this part of the Z with the swirls, that comes with the spinner. Right? So we have to create that ourselves. Well, we're creating everything ourselves. And so you can do whatever you want. You can, you know, design the Z, make the Z any way you like. You don't even have to put a Z in there. You can leave it open. But if you want to do it just like this, get your Z in and then aura it. And then when we started the recording, we start with the orbs all around that Z. Now, what I did not do in the template is I did not create this wheel for the spinner, 1, 2, you know, with the numbers. I did not create this layer with all the letters. We don't need that. But I did create this layer because that's a pattern. Now, if you want to do the corners, you could, you know, if you see the corners, let's give you a corner. See how it's kind of like a triangular? You can just kind of aura and then kind of just bring in your triangle. You might be, I'm sure, or you can just aura the corner like that. You know, however you want to do it, that's kind of messy. So that, I think this came out a little bit, but everyone will do this differently, but this is what the corners look like. And you can just add those corners, you know, this is part of the template. You just want to draw those in. But I find it looks like just to aura and then aura to connect. That's what I would do. And I think that's good enough. Some of you may be better with the measuring, with the, you know, but it's okay that these are not exactly the same size. Now, if you want, you could add in more sections here for the pattern that we're doing, but you don't have to. It doesn't matter. So again, I just want to show you this particular design. We are not, the template, the spinner template comes with these all lines. And this particular design that we did for the spinner class, we did not use each section. We went over these lines. So they don't matter. The only place it matters is this section here, the outer layer, and it doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter how many at all. So it could be less, more. It's more easier for the shape to get kind of that squarish shape for that. And you can see the lines, the hidden lines. So that would be my only thing, is try to make them kind of a squarish. It's not perfectly square, but you know what I mean. But and then here's that layer with that design. But other than that, I think you're good. So hopefully that will help those of you who don't have a spinner tile. And I'm sure you'll do a much better job than I did here. So good luck. Thanks for watching. And I hope this was helpful.